What's up, guys? You just saw what we're doing today with a quick little flyover. So we are actually tying into a previous video, which I will put up there. Farmhouse style.
Yep.
Blocks.
Because you told us you liked it.
Yeah.
So
you gave us some thumbs up on it, said you liked it, so we're going to make another one.
we made more.
And if you like this one, give us thumbs up, we'll make some more. So this is Jamie making. I am the husband. Together, we bring you
DIY home decor for the non-crafty.
That'd be me. So I'll get it switched over and you can see what we're doing. Oh, hit the subscribe too. If you guys like it, come hang out with us. We usually have a pretty good time.
Yeah. So speaking of that, we are going to have some fun today moving a few things around and using them in somewhat unconventional ways, if you ask me.
That is us. Unconventional.
Yeah, very much. So we're just going to focus on the big one first. So stick around and I will show you the other parts. But for now, it's a secret.
Excuse me. So we are going to take the big part of the farm charm. We're going to stagger it. Farm up top. Charm underneath.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with the top? That way it gets out of the way and we don't put our fingers in it?
Yeah, very much so. Yes, I do.
Well, if you guys notice, we actually moved our camera so we're at an angle. So when we're actually, you can see when we're doing something,
Yeah.
don't have our hand over top of everything.
The only thing is that because it's at an angle, now we can't tell if it's straight.
We were messing with it the other day.
Where did the wax go?
Where did the wax go?
Okie dokie. So, before we start putting any of the designs on, we gotta wax. Gotta wax
Oh, he
the
doesn't
wood.
pull up the pieces of the wood.
Yeah.
So just some surface wax.
Ba-da-now!
Some jazz hands for the surface wax.
Yeah. It deserves it. It's done a good job.
We've actually gone through a decent amount of it.
Yeah. We use it a lot.
Yeah.
Geez, when did I get it? I was gonna help.
Yeah, I know, but I'll end up doing this, pushing you all around on camera. We got it quite a while ago, and we've used it for some big projects. I have the other big tin now for the welcome boards that we do, but we use this for a couple of them too. So those are 4 foot tall by 8 inches wide chunks of wood that we've waxed with it.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, good job, husband.
Make it pretty.
Yeah. It's nice and smooth and slick.
You're slick.
I am slick.
Okay. The farm part of the charm.
You know what? You can do the chalking today.
I'm doing the chalking
Yep.
today. This is going to be dangerous.
I'm going to help you, though.
Not to be left to my own devices is what you're saying?
You can't be left unsupervised.
Uh-huh. Okay. So
I was just going to tape it off.
Oh, look at you go. All right. We can do that.
Now, here's a question for you, my husband.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to do the...
Greenery goes on charm.
There you go. See, that's why we're married. I don't actually have to say things.
I knew what you meant. I hadn't decided at the time you asked. Because it's kind of just hanging off of the farm. It would just kind of look funky hanging out there. So I figured at least it's over top of the charm.
Okay. Makes sense to me.
We'll let you know how it turns out here in a minute.
They're going to see how it turns out.
I know. Never mind.
We don't have to tell them nothing.
Okie dokie. So we're going to go with the black.
Go gadget, husband.
Paste. Look at that.
So,
big squeegees.
This board is not super duper even because, it's wood. So start on the higher surface and go towards the lower one.
So,
We violate our general
One
rule
direction
of
rule.
one direction, but well, kind of only. 'Cause one direction is down.
that is true.
Higher to lower, that's a direction.
We moved the camera so you can see, and I got my big old arm across the whole thing.
Oh no, you can still see better than before.
Oh, yeah. Let's peel. You do the peel. Ooh, party.
Very pretty.
Now, do you want this to cover the...
Yep, we're going to use that to cover up the pasted bits.
All that is just the backing when I pulled the transfer off.
Yeah. And we're doing that so that we don't get any of the black paste onto
the board.
The board. All right.
Okie dokie. Got it where you like it?
Yep, I think so. Just be careful. Oh,
Yeah.
do you want me to mark them a little bit of
Yeah,
the
put a little. Yeah, because that's awfully
It's
close.
really close.
Well, I'm good, Chalker. I am not professional like you.
Well, I probably would have taped it off for myself too.
Good?
Yeah, just mind that.
Yeah, that one's okay.
Placement tape, your new best friend.
Okay, so that one goes that way.
Also known as washi tape.
Washi tape with lines.
Yep.
Got to figure out which way the boards step down.
Yep, that's the thing with these. These are very cool. So this is the Chalk Couture diagonal palette board, and it's this really cool gray color. And actually, that's funny because it's cool gray and it's cool and it's gray. Anywho, because they're wood, they're all just a little bit different, and it's really cool. Because I've had one. There's a teeny tiny little spot right there on the edge. Keep going. There you go.
It was out of paste. Give it a peel.
So I've gotten other boards of this that are perfect.
Whoa, pretty. Oh, they come across almost perfectly flat?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
that looks good.
Yeah, came out very good. Okay.
See the black on here? That's why we didn't want to just put it on the board.
Would have ended up on our surface.
Yep.
Okay, so now, should we heat stick that a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, transfer time.
He does stuff like that to me all the time, so I have to do it. Okay, so this is the same country plaid pattern that we used on the other video. Ding. And we're reusing it again because, well, A, you can, and B, it will help to create that cohesive...
Kind of ties everybody together.
Right. So you find a pattern you like and just put it on everything, and you pretty much guaranteed they'll all go together.
Polka dots.
Polka dots and plaid.
Plaid. Okie schmoky.
All right.
So, what are you thinking on this one? This one's going to be a
This one,
hot mess gradient.
yep. We're gonna do something kind of cool here. We're gonna dab 3 different colors on the transfer, and then we're gonna kind of marbleize them all together like. But we're also not gonna make. See, there's a hard line here, which, by the way, just in case you were curious, yes, this is a repeatable pattern. You can put this down on a wall and then pick it up and line it right back up, and you continue the pattern all the way up the wall. How cool is that? But we don't want the hard line. We're going to just kind of feather it up and kind of fade away.
Awesome. Well, let's grab some squeegees and we will get some chalk going on there. Uh-oh.
No, the process is still working. I said fade away, and it reminded me of a movie. Why don't you all just fade away? What was that movie? I feel like it was Empire Records, but
If you know, comment below.
I'm pretty sure that's it. I think Rex Manning said it. I will be Googling that later.
Yep.
Okie dokie. Let's do this one for the white because I don't want a ton of white in there.
Okay.
We kind of want it to not really show too much. And then a couple of them maybe.
Okay. You want to just do dabs on the bottom and drag up?
Yep.
Pretty heavy dab.
Yeah, I think so.
Now what are we going to do about this here? Just going to be cautious on the edge.
Yep.
And actually, if you look, most of it's covered, so it'll be okay.
Yep.
Because it's going to have paste on both sides, you won't see the line.
Well, we're going to do it in a not straight line anyway. We could move the transfer so that it lines up exactly with that.
No, I like having it on both sides will be good. I think you got a good spot.
Okie dokie.
What color would you like?
We'll do the white.
Okay. So you want pretty good heavy dab?
Yeah, mostly the dark one, I think.
Okay. So I'm just going to do this.
So this one is grayish. This one is storm here. The one that's on now currently is grayish. And then, white. Shocking.
The grayish is very, very, very similar to the color of the board.
Right.
Okay, schmoky.
So normally what I would do with this little marbleization technique, I would pull up and then clean off my squeegee so that I don't drag the colors and like make them really mix. But I actually want them to mix this time. I want the various shades of gray that we're getting.
Everything to kind of blend a little bit.
Right.
Ready?
Yeah. Let's see what we got.
Ooh, pretty.
Yep, that's what I was going for. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Ooh, look at that. You can see the bunch of different grays in there. And then the whites. Yep, I dig it. And I like that you can still see the grain from the wood underneath too.
Still kind of pokes through.
Yep. And it's not a super solid straight line.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy with that.
It looks aged. You know how you scuff stuff down to kind of give it that weathered, aged look? You kind of get that a little bit because of the different colors in it.
Well, that's what I was going for.
You did good.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
All right. So, now, believe it or not, this is actually done. We have... we're using this big piece as a backdrop for the whole little grouping. So I don't want to go too crazy pants with it. I don't want to draw a ton of attention to the back of the set of things. Once we get it set up, we might want to add a little twine to it. I was either thinking like kind of diagonal this way or even through here, like underneath the charm. Maybe add a little sprig of greenery. Not super sure yet, but I think it's going to be perfect exactly the way it is.
Just as a tall backer.
Right.
So
kind of just give a background because everything else is kind of hanging out right in this area. So this will kind of just give a neutral background and, not pull interest. Or pull your eye.
okay, so we did end up adding a little something to it. That something being
the rest of my twine.
There's not much left.
That's all that's left. Don't worry, I have more.
I was going to say, Dollar Tree carries it. We can always stop and grab some. Yep. But just something at the top to kind of dress it up a little bit. You guys will see in the pictures at the end here.
So, we just did multiple wraps.
Made it a little fatter, a little better. Yeah. So, figure we'd show you quick. But, awesome. Okay, back for part 2. So for this one, we use another one of the houses.
Yeah.
And going to put some plaid on it. And a tag.
Yep. And we're going to put it on a stand that we're robbing from another sign.
This one.
So this is the board and pillar, because board and a pillar.
Spot on with the name.
Yep. But this is one of my favorites. It's really cute. It's a little 5x7 sign. But it's got this little, what did you call this? A set screw?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I remembered.
You put me on the spot. I'm like, I don't know. Was it a weird name or something?
No, it was the real
the
name.
actual name. Gotcha.
And just FYI, this is still, you can still just use this as a,
It'll stand on its own.
yeah, it's still a board. It's not like all weird or anything, but
It's a box frame.
yeah, it's a box frame, exactly. So I put a cute little thing around it, and we're gonna leave that on there because I like it.
Okay.
And we're gonna stick the house in here as well. Now the houses are thinner than that, so I had to add a little tag. I have these hanging around.
Any kind of shim, any popsicle.
Yeah.
Put a popsicle stick down in there.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be one of these, but so then we're gonna turn it into this cute little Look at that.
Cute little ha.
But we gotta do stuff to it first.
Like plait it.
Like plait it.
Let's plait it.
So this is gonna be fairly simple looking because, again, we're adding pieces to the set that we already made. So we kind of went a little heavy on the visuals on the other set. So these ones kind of just need to be some neutral pieces.
Accent pieces.
Right.
Huh? Come on. Get some credit for that.
You get lots of credit for that.
I think I'm a little off center because this one's, yep, son of a gun. Okay, so what color are we doing that?
This one I would like to do in the, that one, the darker.
The darker?
Oh, this one's the darker.
That is the darker.
Right?
It is.
Okay, you had it right the first time.
I know.
Apologies.
You grab a squeegee, I'll keep the house from moving because if the house moves, it shifts the transfer, and the transfer shifts, it gets all funky. So I'm just going to do this. This is my job.
This is Team Chalkin' today. So we're not doing anything fancy. We're just going straight up storm.
Just putting some chalk on it.
Yeah. We're covering it all. We're not doing
Working over the edges.
Yep. We're not doing no fancy feathering like we did on the other one.
No techniques, no nothing.
Yep. The other house, with the other house, we chalked and then sanded it off.
Scuffed it down. Yep.
Some of it off. So this one is just chalking.
Gives a nice solid background. Yeah. Solid background? Solid
pattern?
Pattern? Solid pattern.
Solid color.
There you go.
Not quite right either.
Solid color pattern. It'll be solid.
Solid, groovy, man.
Ooh, solid.
That's so pretty. Ooh, I likes it. Which is good. Okay, hot stick.
Nice and dry. Good to go.
Yep. Forgot to tell you guys that what we did do to this was camera moved.
Distress the
we
edges.
distressed the edges a little bit so that it matches the other house in that way as well. So, and now, wow, this is adorable. It's just a little two-plane. So, we're also going to take some of the twine that we used on the other houses, and we're going to
make a little accent.
Projects, actually.
A little accent for the accent.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're going to do a simple little... Yes, please?
Boop.
Yoink. I'm going to do a simple little knot to which I can then tie in.
Pull. 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 Ah, there you go.
We've got this little chalkboard tag that we are going to put a horse head on. Just because.
Because why not?
So
actually, you got to wax. Yeah, you got to wax the paper too, so it doesn't pull up the fuzz and pull the paper apart.
Yep.
So quick coat, just like we did with the wood.
The horse came from the transfer with the Farm Charm before, so we're using the same two transfers again.
Yeah,
just
everything's the same
in a different way.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about that.
Mixing it all up, putting it together.
Yeah.
So, little horse head.
Little horse head.
Trying to tell where the edge of that is. Yeah, It's not too bad. You want less of the feet, don't you?
I think so. You know what might be easier?
That's a great idea. Then you can line it up exactly where you like it.
Yeah, exactly where you want it to cut off.
Yeah? Ooh.
Horsey!
A little white.
Yep.
Stand off on the black real good.
Yep. I don't know what I did with my other white squeegee, so I'll just get a new one.
You don't have to do anything besides wax for chalking on paper, right?
Nope.
Because, I mean, we made Christmas
We'll
wrapping
make
paper.
Yep.
That does look cool.
Ooh.
It's party.
Yeah, that transfer has a horse, a cow, a sheep, and a pig.
Bigger pigs.
Little pigger pigs. I'm going to tie this in there again, I think.
Knot it, then knot it to itself.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
So you don't know.
No, I was just thinking I might be being dumb.
Why?
I can just shorten, and do a bow. I was just thinking that was going to make a really, really thick. And I'm really, honestly, just being anal at this point.
That's not going to work.
No, he told me what I was doing because I was not braining well.
That's being nice.
I had a brain malfunction.
And you called me pretty.
Well, you are still pretty. There, that'll do.
Ooh. Ah.
I finally did it, guys.
Too. She hates it so bad.
It is not what I had in mind.
Oh my goodness. It's good.
I know
just
it'll
stop.
be okay.
Just stop. She will fiddle with that thing for 30 minutes at least.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which you guys don't have to watch because I'll cut it out, but I got to sit here and watch her fiddle with it.
Whatever. I'll leave it alone. So here's what we're doing. We're just putting the house in here as is with the tag, making sure it's not tucked into the thing. And then this tag in.
Hold it where you like it.
I think that's
You only got a couple seconds.
Do it. Do it.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then, ta-da! Oh, isn't that cute?
Awesome.
I like it.
Well, I will switch us over. We can hold up the two today.
Yes.
And you grab the other one. We will put it all together, stage a photo, and that will be after we say goodbye. Doo, doo, doo.
Hold it up a little higher. There we go. So you see the whole thing.
Whoa. Pretty. All right, guys. If you liked it, give us one of these. We'll make some more of the farmhouse stuff.
Subscribe so you know when we
it's
do
happening.
it.
And if you don't like it, I guess I'd prefer no thumbs down, but if that's what you got to do. It's what you got to do. We'll put a finished picture in so you can see them all together.
Oh, and don't forget, husband's going to put the video to the other parts.
Yep, the other ones will be linked up there the whole time. Awesome. Bye, guys.